Okay, so this is going to cover Mod 3, Chapter 6, the Fruitful Functions chapter. I'm not going to go through a lot of this just because I've already covered a lot of it in previous videos. But the idea is that you define a function, you give it you say define or def, you give it a name, and functions in this case can accept variables, so it accepts radius, and then it runs its calculation right here, and it returns a. Okay, so if you call that function, a would return. Okay. The chapter then goes in and talks about how basically there's a bunch of, in object-oriented programming, there's a bunch of pre-built functions that people have been working on for years now, and the code works. And so one of the biggest ideas of object-oriented programming is the concept of reusability. If the code works, you don't want to have to create it again and over again for each time you build a new object. That'd be the old procedural model of programming. So you want to call methods, or functions that you know work, and just use those. And a lot of your after you get out of the basics, if you were to find a programming job, a lot of your time would be spent learning all the different libraries, or I think they call it the dictionaries, and figuring out all the different functions that you could call and use and implement. Okay, so these are just different, just different functions that are doing stuff. An idea that they get into is this idea of composition, where a function can call a function. Okay, so in here, area calls distance, and distance passes this into a distance function, and that returns some sort of information that then gets passed into the area function. Okay, so that's real powerful. There's multi-lines of code in each of these functions that all you have to do is call, and it's only one line of code long. Okay, so this is just returning true or false, Boolean functions. I did a lot with recursion, and I did some really hard problems that you guys have and you can practice, so I'm not going to get into recursion again. Let's see. Yeah, so I think the best thing I can do, and I don't even want to go through all these. I'm going to go through programs that I want to build for you guys, and then I can show you how to do that, and then you got real life kind of examples and see how I program these. So it says, number one, write a program that calculates the wage for a certain amount of hours worked. Ask the user how many hours a week they work. A standard work week is 40 hours. The user makes $8 per hour. If the user works more than 40 hours a week, they earn time and a half. For each hour they work over 40 hours. And so I give you the calculation. Okay, so basically I'm not going to make them make $8 an hour. I'm going to ask the user to put in the number of hours they worked and their hourly pay. Okay, so in order to do that, I got my Jupyter Notebook open. So I'm going to define my function. Actually, you know what? I'm going to say hours worked equals a float. Now I'm going to input information. So how many hours did you work in a week? Okay, so remember, when you input information, it gets input as a string, and so I'm changing the string to a float. And because you could work 4.5 hours. Then I got hourly wage, and that's equal to, I'm gonna also make that a float. input how is your what is your hourly wage? And so now you guys can type in, you know, whatever you want. And down here we'll just say print. So print is a function, and we'll pass in your total pay is and we'll say we'll return a string total pay. That's going to be the function that I build, and I'm going to pass in the hourly wage and the hours worked. Okay, so these two variables I get right here, and they're going to be passed into total pay, which I'll create right up here. So I'll say def total pay, and you can call this whatever you want. I mean, maybe total pay isn't a good one. You could call it paycheck. You know, that's just what I came up with. Your variable names and your function name should represent kind of what you're doing. Okay, so I passed in the hourly wage and the hours worked into here. So make sure hourly wage and hours worked are in the same order that you pass them in, or you could, that screws things up with calculations later on. So I'll say total pay is 0.00, and I'll say if, then I would say hours worked is greater than 40, and I'll just say total pay equals, and I'm going to say hours worked minus 40. So if I work 50 hours minus 40, that gives me 10, all right? And I take that 10 and I need to multiply it by my hourly wage times 1.5, because that's overtime pay, right? So that gives me that. Then I add in the 40 times my hourly wage. Okay? So that gives me my overtime pay. Else, I'll say total pay is equal to hours worked times hourly wage. Okay, and last thing I got to do inside my function is I need to return the total pay. Alright, so if I run this, how many hours do you work? Let's say 50. What's your hourly wage? 10. So 10 times 10, so 10 times 1.5 is 15, times 10 is 150, and then 40 times 10 is 400. 104, or 400 plus 150 is 550. Okay, so that looks good. Yeah, so let's look at number 2. Excuse me. All right, number 2. Now, I got these numbers a long time ago, so it really doesn't matter. This was the conversion ratio for $1 to a euro or $1 to yen or whatever. A while back. Excuse me. I'm sneezing. Okay, 2, it says use the following information to write a program that asks for an amount of money in American dollars and prompts the user to select the currency into which the dollars are to be converted. So we're just doing a conversion. You can use if-else statements or a switch statement if you want to try something new. So, excuse me. Sneeze again. All right, so I'm going to have US dollars. And that's going to be equal to a float input. How many dollars do you have to convert? Okay. And then the actual currency you want to convert to, we'll just input because it's a string. And we'll say, what currency would you want to convert to? Euro, yen, yuan, or gold? All right, so I'm gonna run a while not. I'm gonna say the currency equal to, while it's not equal to euro, because I want to be able to force them to enter some information in. Okay, this is kind of error checking. I didn't say, I don't have a conversion ratio for like Mexican peso right here. So if they entered that, you would receive an error if they entered peso. I'm going to force them to enter in what I want. Or currency to yuan. Or currency equal to gold. Currency must equal input you must enter euro, yen, yuan, or gold. Okay. So that forces them to enter that stuff right there. And now I'll just say print currency converter. That's going to be my method. And I'm going to pass in US dollars and the currency. Okay. So I'll define my currency converter method. And I'll accept my dollars and the currency. And I got a bunch of if-else statements. So if currency is equal to euro, I'm going to say what converted message is equal to $ plus str US dollars. Let's see, is equal to and I am going to copy this because then I just have to change one thing. I can say elif currency equal to yen, and then all I have to do is US dollars. Okay, so is equal to yen. And I would say, what would I say here? US dollars times 86.95. Okay. And then I can say elif currency equals yuan. I can paste that. And then yuan is 6.776, and this wouldn't be euro, it would be yuan. Else, and this one would be str, it's dollars times and I'm going to say ounces of gold. And so there's my converted message. And so I can just return converted message. All right, let's run this and see if I got any errors. How many dollars? So I don't know. $100. What currency would like? So euro. Okay, let's see. Print currency. Converter. Okay. Let's try that now. 100 euro. Okay, I got some errors. Return converted message. You must enter. Is it spelled the same? Let's try this. And we'll just set it equal to blank. Okay, yen worked. Is it just euros that's messed up? So if you're having a problem with running your program, make sure that you're in this window right here, and you can restart the kernel. Okay, these two help fix it. So let's say 100 and euro. Okay, there we go. 100. So yen and euro work. It was I needed to define my assign my converted message to a blank. Oops, wrong one. So I can run this again. I can say 100 and yuan. Looks good. Let's run it again. 100 gold. Looks good. What if I come in here and I say 100 peso? You must enter. So I don't know, silver. Nope. You gotta still keep entering. So this forces you to enter in proper information. Okay. So, all right. I think this one looks good. So final one that I got for you guys today. Oh yeah, determining this basically determines if a year is a leap year. These are years that are greater than 1582, and here's what determines if they're a leap year. A leap year is divisible by 4. Is a leap year unless condition 2 does not apply. So this is condition 2. Is a leap year divisible by 100. Is not a leap year unless 3 applies, and 3 is if a year is divisible by 400 is a leap year. Alright, so go through and delete this. And so we'll say year equals int input, and I say please enter a year greater than 1582 to see if it is a leap year. Okay, same thing. I'm going to do a while loop while year is less than 1582. Year equals int input, enter a year greater than 1582. And then we'll just print the leap year. Okay. Notice on this line, and this line, we got the composition where we've got our, different functions within functions. So anyway, let's define a leap year. Pass the year into it. So this is just if, this is just logic. If year modulus 4 equals 0, and not year modulus 100 equal to 0, or year modulus 400 equals 0, we'll say message equals str year plus is a leap year, else message equals str year plus is not a leap year. Okay, so 2000, and let's do this. Message equals blank. Let's see here. Oh, forgot the most important thing the whole entire lesson: returning information. Let me see if this would work without this. Okay, so yeah, I didn't need that, but it doesn't hurt to define it and make it blank. So 2000 was a leap year, but 98 is not. This is where you guys can go to, Google leap years. It should give a list. What years are leap years? So let's try, I don't know, you guys can plug all this in. I know my code works, so I don't know. 2012, leap year. If I try to put in 1400, I need some great 1582. 1582 is not a leap year. So anyway, these programs should help you kind of, start programming and think through how to do return methods and pass information in and return it. So